Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Committee for Members in Practice of ICAI and the SAFA SMP Committee, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all, our respected dignitaries, eminent speakers, and participants to today's inspiring webinar on bridging the mindset gap, empower your journey, vision to victory, and the 1% advantage. Today's session is designed to ignite thought, inspire action, and remind us that transformational success often begins with intelligent shift in mindset. Before we dive into the discussions, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our distinguished leadership and the speakers of the webinar today. Mr. Muhammad Himayu Kabir, President of the SAFA and the past President of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, CA Praveen Kumar Jha, Vice President of SAFA from ICA Nepal, CA Madhukar Narayan Hirgange, Chairman of the Committee for Members in Practice and the Chairman of the SAFA SMP Committee. Our eminent speakers, CA Himanshu Goyal and CA V. Jawaharji. This webinar reflects ICAI's continued commitment to empowering members beyond compliance towards leadership, advisory, excellence, and holistic professional growth. It is my proud privilege to invite CA Madhukar Narayan Hirgange, Chairman Committee for Members in Practice and SAFA SMP Committee to deliver the opening remarks. With over 37 years of post-qualification experience, CA Madhukar Hirgange is the name synonymous with ethics, excellence, and thought leadership. His vision is consistently encouraged chartered accountants to evolve from traditional roles into trusted advisors and value creators. Sir, we are honored to have your guidance today. May I request you to kindly share your opening remarks?
Thank you, Priyanshu. As usual, your introduction every time pleases me. Thank you for that. A very good afternoon to all the professionals who have joined us from different countries of SAFA, specifically to our President, Humayun Kabirji. I think he has not joined, but in his absence, I welcome him. And I also welcome Praveen Kumar Jha, who is the Vice Chairman of the SAFA, who will also, both of them will speak briefly. I thought that I should get on to the subject very importantly. This whole idea has been started thanks to Wayne Dyer, a person who said, change your thoughts, change your beliefs. He wrote a book also. Of course, this has been echoed by many other motivators, but I felt Wayne Dyer's thought process is more aligned to this mindset change. We are just custodians of trust, and there is a need for transformation of the SMPs. SMPs are losing out on businesses which are large, like consulting firms, the big four, and the IT companies. They are taking away whatever little work the SMPs have, and we need urgently to bring them back into the fore. They are the heartbeat of the profession, the SMPs. They shape governance. Otherwise, these large firms, they are only on profit basis. They have come to earn money and they are businesses, run like businesses. So we need SMP to shape governance, and we need to see that we support them. We have CA Himanshu and CA Jawahar and they are going to share on what mindset, value, attitude supported them in their success. We also are privileged to have the president of SAFA, uh, Mohammad Humayun Kabir, and Vice President Praveen Kumar Jha. The core transformation process which I have observed from the point of knowledge, skill, and also thought process. So that is what we are trying to see now. Let us on this platform renew our commitment to stand tall, to serve with courage, and to lead with values. Looking forward to a wonderful learning session and the Q&A to follow. Thank you very much. You're muted, I think. Priyanshu? Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for setting the perfect tone for today's webinar. We now move to the SAFA leadership. It's my pleasure to introduce CA Praveen Kumar Jha, Vice President SAFA, representing ICA Nepal. CA Praveen Kumar Jha is the immediate past president of Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal. With more than 2 decades of leadership experience in auditing, business advisory, strategic risk management, his contribution to strengthening the profession across South Asia is widely respected. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us. We request you to kindly address the participants. Over to you.
Thank you, Priyans Suji. My heartfelt greetings to the SAFA president. I believe he will join in a while. President and Vice President of ICI is also there in the documents brochures that is there. So I would like to greet them as well. Committee chair and members of SAFA SMP committee, chair and members of ICI committee of members in practice, and to everyone attending the webinar from all across the region. Good afternoon and welcome, and namaskar. Thank you all for joining us today. When we chose our profession to become professional accountants, chartered accountants, we decided to pursue a course of lifelong learning. Being present today for the webinar of all of you is a proof of our commitment to that understanding that we had. Your presence here says something very important. You are here to grow, stretch, and move beyond where you are today. And this is particularly very important considering the introductions that Madhukarji just mentioned. For SMPs, which in Nepalese context, most of our firms are SMPs, there are only 2 firms in Nepal which have more than 6 partners. So rest of them most of us are SMPs. So this is also very important for Nepalese context. The theme of the webinar and the topics that shall be discussed here are selected carefully and in effect says all about the objective of the webinar. Basically, what's the objective is. And the objective is to inculcate essential values, nurture right professional attitude, and cultivate empowering habits among our members, especially from SMPs. The eminent speakers who shall be addressing the webinar are highly experienced and experts in the field. I'm sure there would be some takeaways for all of us who are attending this webinar, and I believe that the question and answer session that will happen after the presentation would be fruitful to everyone. I don't believe our members fail to achieve bigger successes that they are capable of or reach their full potential, could not reach their full potential just because they lack vision. There is vision, but some of us struggle because of the gap between what we know and what we believe and what we consistently act upon. That's the mind gap, I believe, which we are discussing today. I would not dwell into the technical aspects of the topic that we are topic any further, because the experts have their experiences to be shared, and their presentations that they will discuss with everyone. Finally, I congratulate the chairs of members of committees, chairs and members of committees organizing this webinar. I would also like to thank the Secretariat and support staff for all the technical and other coordination that they have done. Sincere thanks to the speakers who would be taking the sessions later on, and especially to all the participants from different public accounting organizations, POAs, from India and from Nepal and others attending the webinar. I welcome you all again. I remain here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring words. We are now honored to introduce the president of SAFA, a stalwart of the profession in South Asia, Mr. Mohammad Humayun Kabir. He is the past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, brings with him over 45 years of distinguished professional experience, a respected authority on fiscal laws, corporate governance, microeconomic policy, and sustainability. Mr. Kabir's influence extends well beyond the accounting profession. His contributions to public policy and environmental advisory stand as a tribute to the leadership with purpose. Sir, it's a privilege to have you with us. We request you to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. C. Madhukar Narayanji and the other distinguished leader of ICI, including the President, C. Charanjit Singh Ji, Vice President C. Prasanna Kumar Ji, and other distinguished committee members, SMP committee members, and especially also my Vice President, Mr. Jaji, who just spoke, and all the distinguished leaders and all the fellow professional actors from the South Asia region, especially from ICI. You have just spoke, I think, beginning about the importance of the small and medium practitioners in our region, particularly because South Asia region is basically a small and medium enterprises. The economy dominates there. So very specifically coming to the point, we meet at a very pivotal moment right now. The global economy is currently defined by volatility, uncertainty, and rapid digital transformation. In the South Asian region, specifically, our practitioners are navigating a complex regulatory shift and fluctuating market dynamics. In such a climate, technical skill is the baseline, but mindset is the differentiator. As practitioners, we are no longer just gatekeepers of financial data. We are architects of business resilience. The vision to victory pipeline, many firms fail not because they lack a goal, but because they lack the mental infrastructure to sustain a long-term vision. Transitioning from vision to victory requires a mindset shift from reactive compliance to proactive advisory. In a competitive market, the 1% advantage is our protection against obsolescence. Whether it is a 1% improvement in artificial intelligence integration, a 1% increase in client engagement, or a 1% shift towards better ethical transparency, these compounded gains create a gap that competitors cannot close. As Sabha President, I want to emphasize that our professional victory must be anchored in regional synergy. The challenges we face in South Asia, be it navigating inflation or adopting global sustainability standards, require a collective professional attitude. By cultivating habits of collaboration and continuous learning, we ensure that the SAFA brand remains a hallmark of our trust. Let this webinar be the bridge that takes you from where you are to where you envision being. The gap between your current practice and your ultimate victory is paved with the habits you choose to adopt today. I wish all an insightful and transformative session, and particularly I will remain with you throughout this. I'll try to remain with you throughout the session and learn from the paper presentation. And if any subsequent comes to, and I'm expecting in a very interactive session through the question and answers, the participant, they will benefit. So thank you. I look forward to remain with you in the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary and deeply motivating address. So we now move on to the core learning sessions of the day. It's my pleasure to introduce the first speaker, CA Himanshu Goyal ji. CA Himanshu Goyal is a visionary leader, leadership coach, and strategic advisor known for helping professionals and organizations unlock their true potential skills. His work focuses on mindset transformation, visionary leadership, and purposeful growth. In today's session, he will guide us on how a clear vision aligned with the right mindset can transform aspirations into achievements and challenges into victories. So we welcome CA Himanshu Goyal ji. Sir, the session is all yours.
Thank you, Priyanshu ji. Thank you so much. Respected leadership of SAFA, ICI, committee members, secretariat, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Wishing you a very good afternoon from this side, from Jaipur, Rajasthan, India, to everybody across the south part of the Asia. Friends, bridging the mindset is the theme of this session. So let us start with a journey which is primarily vision to victory. Our chairman of the committee, Madhukar Saras, just said that there needs to be a paradigm shift in the mindset of the practitioners who are part of the SME entities, because the big entities are taking a lot of work. The entire flow of work is going to the bigger entities. So there need to be a shift in the mindset. Friends, I'll try to bridge this mindset gap, bring certain things before you, make you know that everything is in you, and it is just that you have to think from this place and implement. So friends, let us start the journey from vision to victory, which is like setting the vision and achieving the goals, bridging the mindset. So this is empowering your journey. Friends, before we move forward to the content, let's have a small exercise. I have 6 good faces for you to identify. Who are these? I know we might not be interacting, but yes, many of you would recognize almost all, or maybe few of you may recognize 3 or 4. But the first one, Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla. Who is he? He's an industrialist. Second, Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, the bull of the Indian stock market. Third, Mr. Motilal Oswal, an investor, a wealth manager, a real estate advisor, or in terms of a stock advisor. Then Mr. Deepak Parikh, chairman HDFC Bank. Then Mr. Arun Puri, India Today, a journalist. Then Ms. Naina Lal Kidwai, ex-head HSBC. Different faces, different facets of life, but one thing in common. Can anybody guess? Yes, they are all chartered accountants. So friends, the first thing to begin with your mindset is that you can be anything and everything just because you have obtained the degree, which is the toughest examination across the world, being a chartered accountant. So first, clap for yourself, pat your back, and realize that you can do anything, you can go into any field, and you can create miracles just because you are a chartered accountant. But to have your picture for my next presentation, or maybe my presentation 5 to 10 years down the line, you need to do something. So let's start the journey. What a CA can achieve in next 10 to 20 years. Because see, you have to decide. It's not a day's game. It's a long run. It's like a marathon. It's like a full marathon that you have to run with all your good mindset to bring your picture here, where after 10 years I'll be speaking, yes, this is the story of somebody who started it 10 years back or 20 years back. So whether you will be there in this picture depends on you. And how you can make it, I'll make it very simple for you in the coming slides. Friends, all of us today who are participating in this session have already set a mindset that yes, we have a progressive mindset and we wish to change, and that change is for good. But before that, the most important thing is for you to understand that making it big is not an accident. Success is not about where you start, but how clearly you see where you want to go. So let us first, if you all have your pen and paper available with you, or maybe your iPads, I will request you just to write down who are you today. I'll come on the specific points, which I will talk about who are you today and what do I want to become. See, if I want to become a marathon runner, maybe another 6 months or 7 months from now, so I'll have to start exercising that way. That suppose if I have to run 20 kilometers, I'll have to prepare like that. If I have to run 42, I'll have to prepare like that. Similarly, it is very important for you to understand what are you today and what do you want to become, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever the roadmap you make, whatever the time you decide. So, who am I today? Friends, when I say who am I today and what do I want to become, then there is involved a small dare to build something significant. Because suppose you have, I'll give you time for maybe 10, 15 seconds. Who am I today? What? I'm a chartered accountant. I'm with maybe 10 years or 20 years of experience. I've got this much team. I've got these many clients. Then what do I want to become? I want to become somebody like the biggest chartered accountancy firm of the country, biggest chartered accountancy firm of my state, biggest CA firm of my city, town, whatever it be, or I want to become a super specialized person in income tax, GST, or maybe AI, social audit, ESG audits, whatever. If you have never thought of this, think it today, that what would take you from intent to impact, and what time frame you want to keep for that particular drastic change. I can tell you, friend, you'll have to have these 4 things in your mind when you are thinking from where you are to where you want to go. 1 is vision, 2nd is your mindset, 3rd is your behavior, and 4th is the action. Where vision would give you directions, action at the end will give you momentum. What is mindset? See, ultimately, suppose you say, I want to become the biggest firm of any of your state, of your country, then your mindset has to also work accordingly. You cannot be, doing smaller things, thinking small, keeping things within yourself, not building team, and thinking of a vision, which is, far ahead from today, but achievable only when you've got the right mindset, as well as you've got the right behavior. Because these are 2 things, friends. Vision, what you set, mindset, what you make, behavior, what you do, actions, again, what you do. And these will make you come to a position where you want to be. So, who am I today? So, this is basically aligning mindset with reality. When I say who am I today, what you know, what do you know? What is your knowledge? See, there's a difference between knowledge and skills. Where knowledge is vast, skills may be something very specific. You may specialize in PMLA, you may specialize in RERA, you may specialize in direct taxation, auditing. So first, understand what you know, what is your knowledge. Then important thing is what you can do, what best you can do, because it is your skills which will take you to another level. So Just write down what you can do. Third, who you know. Friends, it has always been said that your network is your net worth. Why do I say this? Because in the later part of the presentation, I'll bring you to a slide which is specifically for networking. But who you know would take you to the place where you want to go. So today, if you know 10 people, maybe then out of those 10 people, 4 are your clients, 5 are your clients. But when you plan to become a big organization, then in such case, you might have to know certain people whom you don't know today, but then you might have to invest for another 5-10 years to know those people who will give you the work which you wish to do. Just a small example to give you a brief idea at this stage only. So you all would be attending various seminars across the country at ICI or various platforms. But where you plan to meet businessmen, then maybe CI, SOCHM, FICCI, PhD, these would be the right places for you to interact with the people. So when it comes to who you know, write down today who you know. And then who all do you want to know or wish to know or would be required to be known to achieve your targets would be an important aspect. Then what do you have? When I'm thinking about myself in my journey of vision to victory, I need to understand what do I have present. So like when I started my fresh journey, which is this journey of last 8 to 9 years, on 1st January 2017, I had no income, no client, nothing. And maybe today might be doing very well. So what do you have? But that day I realized that I have resources, I have capital, I have my thought process, I have mind. So today, when you plan to shift or when you plan to move or even plan to grow to another level, then you need to understand what you have, what are your resources, maybe your team, maybe your infrastructure, maybe your family, whatever is there. And the last thing, which I think is important, is what the world thinks of you. Yes, you might not know this. That how would you know that what the world thinks of you? But from the core of your heart, I think you can find out what's your reputation. Reputation means how are you known as a wise person, as an intelligent person, as a go-getter, as a dynamic person. Or maybe you can ask few people after this session or maybe in a time to come that what the world thinks of you. So this is first thing is that aligning mindset with reality. So what you are. So when you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. That's the thought process. So just analyze what you are today. And for what you want to become, these things will change. They will grow either in arithmetic progression or geometric progression. Now the thing is, whatever you wish to make. So I cannot tell you that how can you increase your audit practice? How can you increase your indirect tax practice? What I can give you is the basic essential points which I think are must for any professional ethically to understand that to make something happen, these are some things which I need to work upon, or maybe I need to definitely have in myself. First is zeal. What is zeal? Zeal basically is the trust to do anything at any cost. Suppose I'll share a small story. A very fat boy used to, always think when would I be able to run? When would I be able to be an athlete? But that boy had one thing in mind. What? That one day I'll run a half marathon. So that boy started training. Yes, first day there were cramps, then there were, pull downs, then there was injuries, many things happened. The diet, the work pressure at office, but simultaneously running, getting up in the morning in cold mornings, getting up at 5 a.m., everything was there. But there was only one thing which could make that person run 21 kilometers was the zeal. Another example. Friends, it is very important for you to understand. You all must have heard about Mr. Usain Bolt. Yes, he's the fastest runner of the world. One thing, what would have made him the fastest runner? What would have made him close the 100 meters race in 9.58 seconds? Would it be his mother or father saying, dear son, come on, you got to go run. because you want to win the world championship? No. This would have been in his mind that I will train myself for 4 years and one day I will run, and I don't want to come second in the Olympics. I want to become the fastest runner of the world. And that is the zeal with which he would have been able to work across the 4 years of his practice. So maybe 4 years of hard work and 9.58 seconds of performance time, my dear friends. But then that would have been possible just because of the zeal. So for you also, you have to come to your office daily, whatever time you decide, preferably morning 8 to 9. You have to work for a good long time. When I come to hard work, I'll tell you, many people say, what about work-life balance? I always say, work right now, life will get balanced once you have good work. Fine. So what is the zeal? Zeal is something which has to come from inside and which will take you or keep you motivated to achieve a particular target. So to make it happen, you need to have a zeal for that. Second important thing is hard work. Friends, today people have started talking about smart work. Maybe AI has come into picture, so maybe some hard work has reduced. But what is hard work? What is a hard work? Is it something, which is being done, with deep energy or something like that called a hard work? Friend, in terms of a professional practice, I would tell you, hard work is just simply making a goal, setting up targets, and sitting down and achieving those targets. So like at times, suppose I have decided something to be done by 15th of February. So for me, everything else except that thing is distraction. And what is hard work is if I do something to achieve that by 15th of February. So everything done in that direction to achieve that particular thing is hard. So when you are building a firm, when you are building an organization, when you wish to grow your practice, the hard work may involve making the systems of the firm, making the team, learning and development, business development, setting out the structures, the credentials of the firms, and you might have to work daily. I'm saying daily, friends, not weekly, monthly, daily on those things. So you need to be ready for a hard work. When you have thought something, you need to work daily. So Usain Bolt would have got up every morning 4 a.m. on his own and on field at 5 a.m. because he wanted to achieve the target of becoming the fastest runner of the world. Similarly, if you want to become the biggest firm of your city, place, wherever you are, then again, you need to embed the theory of hard work. Third thing important, friends, visibility. In our Hindi, we say, jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai. But no, it's not about selling, but yes, whosoever is visible is adapted very easily. So if you think you need to grow your firm, if you think you have to make it large, you have to be visible. And visible with what? Visible with something specific you possess, visible with your super specializations, visible with your team, visible with your structure, visible with your systems, visible with, you need to create a trust. So you need to be visible with your trust and your entire background. Fine. So to make it happen, what is important is that, yes, so suppose if you are sitting in any small town and you're doing a great job, you learn income tax thoroughly. But if the other people don't know that you are an expert of income tax, I'll share my 5T formula in the later slides, which will make you visible, which will help you to create a very easy visibility. But you need to understand that you need to be visible. I am not talking about vision here because vision is covering all these things. That will make your vision. The fourth is opportunity. Friends, opportunity comes and goes. And there are two kinds of opportunities. One is which comes. When would it come? When you have luck, when you have worked so much hard that the opportunities would start coming on their own. But in the initial stages, the opportunities need to be created. And to create something is very difficult. So to make it happen to that level, friends, you need to create opportunities. I'll just give you a small example and a live example. So there was an advertisement in Times of India. I I don't know how many people amongst you are acquainted with New Delhi, but I'll share you example in terms of kilometers. So there was a newspaper ad that a particular company had been allotted 660 into 3 megawatt solar or thermal power plants by government of a particular state. And there was a congratulations advertisement, full page advertisement in Times of India. Now, anybody of you, when we are reading the newspaper, we might skip the advertisements. But there was somebody who stopped that advertisement and thought that, oh my God, this is a 10,000 crore rupees project. So this company might require 8,000 crore rupees of debt. 7 a.m. he read the advertisement. And 11 a.m. the CEO of that company, the CFO of that company, the company secretary of the company, the person, his boss, and the person who coordinated this, and the person who had to fetch the funds of 8,000 crore rupees, all 7 were sitting at an office discussing upon how this 8,000 crores would be got. And believe me, the mandate was closed at a fees of 1% at 12:30 p.m. So the fact is that it will not happen on its own. You have to read, you have to understand, you have to create a culture in such a way that the news becomes an opportunity for you. What is visible becomes an opportunity for you. And once you see it as an opportunity, then you convert it into your transaction advisory or maybe whatever way, but you convert it as a professional activity for you. So you need to have a zeal with hard work, visible, understand the opportunities, make the opportunities initially. Once you are settled, maybe the opportunities come on their own, but initially you have to make them. And all this has to be done. All this has to be done with perseverance, continuously, every day. The way you get up in the morning, you go for your workout, you come back, you come to office, lunch, dinner, everything, sleep. The way sleep is important for you, the way food is important for you. In order to build a big organization, these things are very important to you, and you need to work upon them properly, timely, and regular. Friends, now I'll come to more specifically to the building up of a big chartered accountancy firm. Because over the period of last 8 years, I've been flying almost 150 to 200 days a year. And you get the best time to write in the airplanes because there's no disturbance of any kind. So it took me 8-9 months to find out what are the things I need to work upon, what are the things I need to see to build an organization from 0 to maybe 300 plus people. What, and maybe to another 3,000 or maybe 30,000 in another 20 years. I've set a trajectory of 30 years. I went to IIM Ahmedabad. And I went there to learn international business because I wanted to open offices in London, New York, Dubai, Hong Kong, and Singapore. But I was taught, brother, today you are nothing. So first establish yourself in Jaipur, then Rajasthan, then India, and then come global. That day I decided, okay, it's a 30 years trajectory. 10 years have been amazing in Rajasthan. Now it's India's turn. Similarly, but how could that happen? How could that come on picture or come on, the ground? Was because of these 5 things, I think, which we all as a firm or all our partners or all our team members as a firm could do. So first is credentials. What is credentials, friends? It is very important for all of us to understand that credentials are what you are. What is the name? What is the structure? Thank you, Jawar sir. What is the structure? What is the what is the name of the partners? What is the strength of each partner? What is the strength of each associate? What is your growth and relationship plan? What are your offices? What is your social presence? What is your branding strategy? And the biggest thing, what is going to be the work what you're going to do? Because most of us, see, if somebody comes to us and they ask us what you will do, I can say we do everything. No. To become great, then you need to have certain specific things in which you are best. Because once the clients come to you being the best, the other things may flow and be part of the system. But your credentials in terms of your organization, your organizational structure, your team, your associates, your presence, what you wish to do, everything has to be proper so that you are able to make a difference. Second thing, friends, systems. What is systems, friends? So to run an organization, I always say, friends, there's a very good book, okay, from which I have read that you don't run for goals, you run for systems. And once you run for systems, then everything is possible. The book's name is Atomic Habits. I'll be suggesting you a few books at the end of this sessions, which if you'll read, you'll really find yourself flying high and achieving things very fast. But in Atomic Habits, it has been specifically held that instead of building and following goals, if you want to become big, then make systems and follow systems. Now, what systems? It may be work systems, it may be IT systems, team growth and training, team structure, networking, discipline, admin, client coordination, meetings, budget, attendance, timesheets, your staff related thing, team reports, team procedures, HR, maybe a new joinee induction, monthly, weekly deliverables, legal mechanism of your organization, maybe other systems like monthly budget, the pro forma invoice management, billable hours, maybe data storage, managing old work, data management systems, file management, sensitive data management, MIS, collection, litigation, advisory, updates, client visits, BD, seminar, all these things, they must fall in a system which you are able to implement, which you are able to measure. So I always say something which is not measured is not good. So set out your credentials that this is the firm. So, and all these will depend on what? What do you want to become? You want to become a 10,000 employees organization? These would be different. You want to become the best in one subject? These things would be different. You want to become a 100 people organization? These things would be different. But set your credentials, make your systems. The third important thing is, friends, team building. What you are as a professional is just 1% of what you can be with a good team. So you need to have a proper team building mechanism so that you have best of the people. Your firm may have 5 partners, 6 partners, 10 partners, 20 partners. I believe maximum strength in our region would be like 55, or maybe if we talk about SMEs only. So it might be maximum, if it's an LLP or something like that, maybe 50 partners. But then what are they doing? What exactly is happening in your firm? Then it has to be a proper team building. Team building in terms of, sir, these are the 10 heads who lead 10 verticals in our organizations. Then there are associates. Then there are junior associates. Then there are article assistants. And then there is a support staff. And then how do we build ourselves as a team? We build ourselves as a team. We all align with a single goal. We align with a single vision. We all work in the same direction. Our systems are such that our team, everybody has an estimate of the revenue. Everybody has a responsibility to, do. Everybody has certain rights. We sit together, we grow together, we work together, we enjoy together. We develop relationships together. So building a team, friends, trust me, when a joint development agreement is discussed on a table, it requires a person who handles legal. It requires a person who handles stamp laws. It requires a person who handles GST laws. It requires a person who handles tax laws, and a person who handles litigation. So maybe it may sound to you that a single small transaction is there, but it involves so many good brains. So team building is something which is very important. And yes, I will come in another slide, how can you build a good team? Because the crux is trust and honesty. If you trust people, people will trust you. And if you are honest, people will be honest to you. Exceptions are always there, friends. But trust and honesty are the two things which will help you build big teams, which may make or make happen wonders for your organization. Fourth important thing, which I think you need to really work upon, is your client satisfaction. Friends, ultimately, who are we serving? And if there is no specific criteria of how to serve a client, then in such case, it will be difficult for you to, continuously grow clients by word of mouth or maybe through, their interactions with your team. One client may give you 10 works, started with one, and they may end up giving you 10 works. So there may be there must be a system of onboarding a client on, post-client conversations. Then you need to work upon the lead stage, product to be explained properly, proper profile to be given, then understand the work, proper work allotment, proper signing of the contract, deliverables, make a proper way where you can connect with your client. Then when the work is done, take proper details, do meetings timely, send drafts, update regularly, submit deliverables in time. If you're not able to do, there should be a process how it is very politely communicated that it may take time. Try to complete work before time. Then post work, send regular updates, messages, invite clients to seminars, send partner updates to clients. So this is how you will develop a system which is related to client satisfaction. Therefore, you will be able to, once you have set your credentials, you have made your systems, you have built a team, and then when your client satisfaction strategy is there, I think most of the job is done. And the fifth thing, which is most important from my side, is learning and development. And BD, which is business development, non-attestation areas of practice, because many chartered accountants are into consulting also. Many would have opened MCS organizations also. So L&D and BD, see, you have to be updated all throughout, every day, every morning. Any client can call you and ask you something and you have to be updated. Now, it depends upon you how you get updated, whether your team is regularly updating you, whether you are reading. But learning and development, AI has come, friends. How many of you have embedded AI in your practices? There are certain things which can ease down your works to almost 10% down from 100% with the use of AI. So if you start learning, if you start developing the tools, this will help definitely for you to streamline the business and to take it to another level. And second is business development. Yes, wherever allowed as per the ethical standards, you must be engaged into the activity where you can meet people, you can interact, and you can pass on the knowledge. I'll share with you my 5P formula based on which it will be very easy for you. But how to build an organization, these are the 5 things I think you should work upon. I have written a book on this, maybe a small 50-pager, and I've specifically noted down these credentials. Maybe when we have a bigger seminar today, 45 minutes, but when we have a 2-3 hour session, I can take you to each and every aspect of these 5 things. Friends, one thing is that if you don't design your future, you will live someone else's plan. So better you start building, better you start designing, better you start doing and make something for yourself. And basically, you have to move from practice to purpose, from individual success to an institution building. So purpose turns profession into legacy. So basically, find out your purpose, find out your vision, and then that will take you forward. When I said certain things, how to build big, so I said this is something what you need to have, which is making it happen. This is something how you can build an organization with certain systems, but there need to be certain super specialized traits in yourself where your growth is designed and not discovered. You need to chase your dreams. not just the next paycheck. So what are those 5 things I noted down for you? Super specialization. Friends, believe me, one thing you have to be best at if you want your organization to be grow. And you can see whosoever has grown the organization in this country was good at one thing. Maybe building the team is also a task. It might be a super specialization, but in profession, one subject you have to choose, which will make you the king of that subject and which will attract the entire, community towards. Second is consistency. I've spoken about perseverance, but consistency to keep on doing the things, what good you are doing, what team building you are doing, what L&D you are doing, what research you are doing, what systems you are following is important. Again, important thing, choose systems over goals. You need to properly have systems and your goals will be easily achievable. R&D, BD are non-negotiables. You have to do it. Friends, one is about the team, one is about the organization, but these are the personal traits that you have to do. Believe me, get up for 1 year at 5 a.m. 5 to 7 is your time. You may, invest 15 minutes in doing whatever you wish to, but 1 hour, 45 minutes, design it in such a way that your day is planned, your strategy is planned, your work is planned, and you read in the morning, you do something such in the morning where at that time you have no disturbance. Then maybe 7 to 8, you can work upon your health, be in office 8:30, 9 a.m. I would say, some of you might say why to work more, but I would say be in the office till 8 p.m., go back home, spend 2 hours with your family, sleep at 10, 10:30. So you manage yourself, you manage your work, you manage your personal life, and this is what you require. But what will you do in those 2 hours or maybe 1 hour, 45 minutes is your R&D for firm's growth, for team building, for system, your, whatever you wish to plan for your BD. And friends, the last trait I would like to say is trust people, trust people, trust people, because if whatever you will give, you will get back. Trust people and build infrastructure. And infrastructure would mean everything, maybe physical infrastructure or maybe team building or whatever. But trust people, you'll get trust, be honest, and believe me, you will design your growth and you will discover something which you would have never thought of. People and relationships matter, friends, because any big organization is made because of people. So you need to invest deeply in team. Take people seriously, their emotions. I face this challenge. I used to think, why is this guy not doing something what I want him to do? Why is this person not doing something I wanted to do? But then one day I took a break of 5 days, and I was made to realize that their aspirations might not be my aspirations. So I might like to work for 12 hours, but they might not be. But see, if I have to make an organization, I have to work like a startup. I have to work maybe more than 12 hours or 15 hours. Nobody tells this, boss. I have decided for myself that I have to work, I have to build an organization. But you need to take people seriously and build long-term relationships. How is it possible to build long-term relationship? Trust, honesty, and proper sharing. See, your entire team sees you, what you are doing. All right. So once you are honest and you are sharing it properly, there is no chance that anybody would like to leave. All right. So invest in people, take people seriously, and build long-term relationship. Remember, business grows when people grow. Friends, few of you might be in your earlier years of your practice. Some might have, spent 20 years, but that might be also your earlier year because you are now planning for a 30 years paradigm shift in your profession. So, 3 things: long hours, no shortcuts, and total commitment. It cannot be possible that you are doing 10 different things and thinking of one growing to X level and all others are also doing good. No. Take one thing, make it large, make it extra large, make it huge, but then no shortcuts. Success demands time. There are no traffic jams on the extra mile. long hours of working is required in the profession. Yes, few of you may say, why need to work long? You may have team or something like that. That my personal experience, friends. Long hours, no shortcuts, ethical, and total commitment to what you do. Before I end, friends, because 5 minutes are left, I'd like to share a 5P formula. This is a formula which I have developed for myself and my team is following. And with this formula itself, you will become one of the greatest professionals. So, amongst us, whom I can recognize is Madhukar sir. So for us, Madhukar sir is an idol for GST, for indirect taxes. But how did a boy in Jaipur would know somebody sitting in South and or maybe in West or maybe in East that person is super intelligent, that person is very good and it's a highly ethical professional. How would I know that? So there has to be something what makes you great. And there is a simple formula. Once you know this formula, apply this on all 100 top professionals you know, and they all have followed this same formula. First thing, peruse. Whatever law you wish to practice, whatever area you wish to practice, peruse, read it properly. Find out all the possible material and read it properly. Like I started with RERA. I read the act, I read the rules properly and thoroughly. Then second is prepare. When you're consulting into real estate, you need to know the stamp laws, you need to know the GST, you need to know the local building bylaws, the Contract Act, the Transfer of Property Act. So I prepared myself. So you need to prepare yourself by making presentations, notes, or something like that, so that whatever you have read is compiled into something which is deliverable. And the third thing is preach. You gain more knowledge in preaching than reading. So if you have prepared something, perused, prepared, then start preaching, start taking lectures. Then this world will come to know, oh, this person is super specialist in one particular thing. This person is super specialist in direct taxes. Once you do this, work will start coming to you. And that is the area which is called practice. So you have read something, you have prepared something, you have preached that thing, and the work starts coming. Do it very methodologically, very properly, and practice. But now, it cannot be one day that you read. It cannot be one day that you prepare. Or it cannot be once in a month, once in a year you preach. Or it cannot be that you don't work for 2 days, 3 days a week. You work for 3-4 days a week. You need to do everything regularly. And that is perseverance, persistence. So peruse, prepare, preach, practice. Peruse, prepare, preach, practice. And what you get? You'll climb this mountain and prosperity is the outcome. Prosperity in any area, career, leadership, business, comes from living the 5 Ps daily. So whatever you wish to do, these 5 Ps will help you gain the momentum, change what you want to change, bring into life what you want to bring, and achieve what you want to achieve, friends. Just a last suggestion, a quick suggestion of certain books which I think have changed my life and which may add to your wisdom and which may, make you think bigger. So for a business growth and strategic thinking, I will recommend reading Scaling Up by Verne Harnish. The theme is growth requires alignment of people, strategy, execution, and cash. So you can read this book, an amazing book which will change your mindset. And The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. This is a book which I always carry with myself. This book has 33 laws of how to make a large organization or what you need to do. So unfiltered realities of leadership and personal growth. The gain from this book would be that you develop emotional intelligence, resilience, and authentic leadership. This has given 33 laws. If anybody can follow me on my LinkedIn, I've given a crux of these 33 laws also, so that you don't have to read these 350 pages. You can go through those 33 slides and see what is there in the book. And once you find it good, I request you, even if you don't read any book in this world, read just this book, The Diary of a CEO, and this will set everything right for you. for your foundations of leadership and personal excellence. Friends, unless, see, who's a leader? Leader is somebody whom the team would like to follow. So for your leadership and personal excellence, I have read 3 out of these 4 books, but the 4th book, I've heard there's an app called Bookie, and I find it very interesting. So I've quoted that. So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Atomic Habits, if you want to change your life. Friends, believe me, just read this book. If you think something is not going ahead, you're unable to do, this will help you change your habits. Good to Great. Good is the biggest enemy of great. Jim Collins. It's a study of 500 big organizations which went from good to great. Because if you think everything is good, you might not want to become great. But then good to great tells you discipline, humility, and focused leadership. And the 4th is deep work. Most of us might be, realizing that I go to office, but I'm unable to achieve what I wish to achieve. This is the book which will tell you that it will, master distraction-free work to produce high impact outcome. And basically, it will help you in, improving your competitive advantage. So basically, books don't change lives, applied ideas do. But yes, these are the few books which I think can shape up your life. Final message, friends. Wherever you are, start today. 1, 2, 3, start. If you want to, don't think. Stop thinking. Just decide today, this is what I am, this is what I am to become, and start. Do count 1, 2, 3. Because every race starts with 1. Consistency beats motivation. Be consistent. Third important thing. Play a long game. Don't go for short-term goals. Don't go for short-term gains. Play the long game. Success is trained, friends, not discovered. And your degree gives you entry. Your mindset decides how far you go. So coming to the first slide, their mindset decided where they had to go, become a chairman of the bank, become the biggest wealth manager, become the best journalist. So your degree has given you entry, but your mindset will decide where you have to go. Thank you so much. Exceeded 2 minutes. Sorry, the committee. If any questions are there, I'm available to answer to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the powerful session. We now move on to the second speaker, CAV Jawaharji. CAV Jawaharji is a Marshall Goldsmith certified executive coach, leadership thinker, forensic expert, and information system auditor. His sessions are known for seamlessly blending deep insight and with practical, actionable wisdom. In this session, he will demonstrate how small, consistent improvements, the 1% advantage, compound over time to create extraordinary success. So we eagerly look forward for your session. Over to you. Jawahar, sir.
Thank you very much, Priyanshu ji. I'd like to address the leaders of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Chair Madhukar Hiragange, the leadership in the Committee of Members in Practice, the President, Vice President, and the members of SAFA, and my dear fellow Chartered Accountants. What a presentation it was by Mr. Himanshu Goyal. His presentation has actually laid down the foundation of my topic, the 1% advantage. Let us delve right into it now. Let's have the first slide, please. For example, before I start, I want you to imagine 2 chartered accountants with identical qualifications and clients. One focuses only on compliance. The other consistently adds small insights in every assignment. After 10 years, one will remain a fee negotiator. The other becomes a trusted board advisor. And that, my friends, is the 1% advantage. Competence versus excellence in chartered accountants profession. Competence ensures compliance and accuracy, where a minimum expectation from a chartered accountant, which are the minimum expectations of a chartered accountant. Excellence, however, differentiates professionals through judgment, foresight, and influence. In a competitive environment, clients and organizations value chartered accountants who consistently go beyond technical correctness. Technical knowledge has become widely accessible and rapidly standardized. Leadership today acquires strong communication, ethical clarity, decision-making ability, and adaptability. Chartered accountants who combine technical strength with these skills are better positioned for senior roles and long-term relevance. Micro habits, my dear friends, are small, deliberate actions practiced daily, such as structured preparations, reflective thinking, disciplined follow-up. Individually, they appear insignificant, but over time, they compound. Consistency, not intensity, creates sustainable professional growth. Take an example. A professional improving just 1% each day experiences exponential growth over 10 to 15 years. This compounding effect leads to sharper judgment, stronger credibility, and leadership readiness. Conversely, stagnation, even at the highest competence level, leads to gradual irrelevance. Therefore, the need of the hour is a metamorphosis from a reactive professional to an intentional leader. Can we have the first polling question, sir?
I would request members to scan the QR code, or they can go to menti.com and they can put this code 14963044 so that they can answer the poll.
Can we have the next slide?
Awesome.
Now, what are these mindset habits of exceptional chartered accountants? The foundation has been laid by Mr. Himanshu Goyal. Ownership mindset is one of the first requirements. Ownership mindset means thinking and acting like a partner in a client's or organization's outcomes, not merely completing assigned professional tasks. It involves assuming responsibility for risk identification, value protection, long-term consequences, even when these are not explicitly mentioned in the scope letter. What ownership mindset entails is asking one extra why behind every unusual transaction, reviewing previous year's observation before engagement, mentally asking, if this were my business, what would concern me? Documenting risks, not asked for, but noticed. These habits take minutes, but significantly enhance professional value. The leadership impact of ownership mindset would lead to clients involving the chartered accountant in strategic discussions, not just compliance. Fewer surprises during audits, inspections, and assessments. Higher trust, stronger referrals, and long-term professional relevance. Clear differentiation between fee earners and value creators. However, to get into our ownership mindset, there are barriers, and those are fear of exceeding the scope, comfort with checklists, pressure to close assignments quickly, misbelief that management responsibility is not the auditor's concern. And this is what we actually see in chartered accountants day in and day out. However, a chartered accountant leader consciously rises above these limitations. Remember, my friends, ownership mindset does not mean doing the management's job. It means caring enough to think ahead, speak up, and act responsibly. The moment a chartered accountant thinks like an owner, the professional starts seeing him or her as a leader. Next slide, please. Long-term thinking is a discipline of prioritizing professional credibility, sustainability, and trust over short-term gains, such as fees, convenience, or client appeasement. Exceptional chartered accountant leaders evaluate every decision by its future impact on reputation, risk, exposure, and professional standing. And for these, micro habits need to be built for this long-term thinking. Like, for example, asking how this will look during scrutiny, say over a 5-year period, 5 years later or 10 years later. Documenting rationale for all key judgments, building files as if they will be reviewed by regulators, choosing clarity in communication over pleasing language. These small habits create enduring professional safety and stature. Long-term thinking ensures reduced exposure to disciplinary proceedings and litigation, stronger positioning during peer reviews and inspections. Clients respect boundaries and value honest counsel, career longevity, and consistent relevance. Now, for this long-term thinking, there are traps, which are over-reliance on industry practice. Oh, we have been doing this for many, many years. Why should I change? That attitude. Fear of losing clients or assignment. What if I do this and the client leaves me? Rationalizing weak positions as manageable tasks. Ignoring documentation in the rush to close files. Chartered accountant leaders consciously avoid these traps. Next slide, please. Learning mindset is a habit of continuous intentional learning beyond mandatory CPE requirements. It involves upgrading judgment, business understanding, and foresight, not merely accumulating technical updates. Successful chartered accountants learn every day, while average professionals learn only when required. The difference between compliance learning and leadership learning is, in case of compliance learning, a chartered accountant would attend hours for CPE, read only statutes, and defend his mistakes. While in leadership learning, a leader would apply insights to cases, read industry and risks behaviors, and if he is wrong or there is an error, he will extract learnings from his experience. The micro habits that actually build in this learning mindset is spending at least about 15 minutes daily on reading or reflection, maintaining a personal lessons learned log, discussing complex issues with peers, asking juniors to explain concepts and reinforcing understandings. And these little habits compound professional depth over a period of time. Chartered accountant with learning mindsets have better professional judgments and foresight, increased confidence levels in complex assignments, adapt faster to regulatory and business changes, and are recognized as knowledgeable and reliable advisors. Think about all these successful chartered accountants around you or of whom you have heard. I'm sure you will relate what I'm saying to these names, the faces, and exactly what I have said. Then why do some chartered accountants not have a learning mindset? Because they believe that experience alone is sufficient. They depend on precedent without questioning. They feel time pressure during the peak seasons. They treat learning as an event, not as a habit. Serious, successful chartered accountant leaders consciously overcome these barriers. At this stage, let's have the second poll, please.
Members are requested to kindly scan the QR code and then accordingly they can submit their answers. Or you can join menti.com and put the code mentioned on the screen.
It is menti.com. Okay, let's go for the next slide, please. Now we will talk about daily professional rituals that build excellence. The first one is morning professional rituals. This was in fact mentioned by Himanshu ji also. Morning professional rituals are intentional habits performed before the workday becomes reactive. They help chartered accountants shift from firefighting mode to judgment-driven leadership, ensuring clarity, calmness, and control. CA leaders do not start their day with emails, they start with thinking. What are the core morning rituals practiced by successful chartered accountants? One is priority clarity. Before even opening the email, review the top 3 professional outcomes for the day. High-risk assignments requiring personal attention. The second is engagement preparation. Transform meetings into strategic conversations. Risk scanning habits. This reduces the surprises and enhances professional defensibility. Sorry. The morning rituals can be strengthened by avoiding checking emails for the first 30 minutes. Please concentrate on thinking. By maintaining a daily judgment focus list, writing one professional intention for the day, and reviewing one learning point from the previous day. These habits take very little time but create disproportionate impact. Consequently, the impact of morning rituals will be better quality of professional judgments, improved clients' perception and credibility, lower stress and better time control, and increased consistency in performance. For the morning rituals, there are a few mistakes that should be avoided. One is overloading the morning with tasks, confusing planning with execution, letting urgent matters override important ones, and skipping rituals during busy periods. And this is something that is protected by successful chartered accountants very seriously. Can we have the next slide? Now, this is workday execution habits. Workday execution habits are the disciplined behaviors practiced during working hours that ensure quality, consistency, and sound professional judgment. They bridge the gap between planning and requirement, especially in high-pressure chartered accountants environment. And believe me, friends, I practice it on a daily basis. Why execution habit matters in chartered accountants practice? Because a weak execution habit leads to last-minute rush, leads to rework and errors, ends up reactive firefighting, and leads to stress-driven decisions. Whereas a strong execution leads to steady progress, it delivers quality the first time, results in anticipated issues, and results in calm, reasoned judgments. Most professional failures arise from execution gaps, not lack of knowledge.
Yeah, Mr. Yadav, Mr. Jatin Yadav, can you please mute yourself?
Now, core workday execution habits of chartered accountant leaders are deep work on high judgment areas, which reduces audit surprises and strengthens defensibility. Then second is the personal ownership of critical judgments. This improves quality of opinion and protects professional reputation. Structured documentation discipline will strongly protect during peer review, inspections, and litigations. Timely follow-up and closure prevents bottlenecks near deadlines. And for this strengthening this micro habits, what is required is reviewing one high-risk file every day, maintaining a live issue tracker, spending first energy hours on judgment work, closing at least one pending item each day. These small habits create momentum. The strong execution habits will lead to predictable, high quality outcomes. Reduce stress during peak periods, enhanced client confidence, strong professional defensibility. I'm just checking on the time. Thank you. The next slide, please. End of day reflection is a deliberate review of professional actions, decisions, and interactions before closing the workday. It converts daily experience into learning judgment, maturity, rather than letting it fade unnoticed. Successful chartered accountants end the day thinking, not just closing their files. Experience alone does not build leadership. Reflected experience does. The core elements of an end of the day reflection are reviewing of key decisions, which improves future judgment quality and consistency. Assessment of interactions, like for example, reflecting on how feedback was given to juniors, whether current outcomes were fully understood. And this has an impact by enhancing communication and leadership present. Identifying learning points, like for example, noting down new regulatory interpretations, a client objection or an underlying reason. And this will impact by building a personal knowledge repository over time. Risk awareness check is the most critical part of a chartered accountant's life. Asking which matter could create future scrutiny. What documentation is adequate today? And this will reduce inspection and litigation exposures. One can develop micro habits that make reflection effective by spending 5 to 7 quiet minutes daily, writing 2 or 3 bullet points, not long notes, maintaining a personal professional journal, linking today's learning to tomorrow's priorities. Consistency matters more than the duration. If this is practiced on a day-to-day basis, the effects will be lasting and brilliant in a successful chartered accountant's life. And end of the day leads to faster professional maturity, improved decision consistency, enhanced emotional intelligence, and stronger professional defensibility. Next slide, please. Now, habits that build credibility and trust. The first is the communication micro habits. These are small, repeatable behaviors in speaking and writing and listening that determine how chartered accountants effectively are understood, accepted, and acted upon. In practice, clarity requires more influence than technical brilliance. Why communication is a leadership differentiator for chartered accountants? A weak communication leads to technically correct but ignored communication. It means long explanations, defensive tone, and misunderstandings. Whereas a strong communication is simple, is acted upon, clear conclusions, confident and calm, and is not misunderstood at all. Most client and audit committees, fiction arises from how something is said, not what is said. So what are the core communication micro habits of chartered accountant leaders? Leading with conclusion. For example, instead of starting with a standard, begin with, based on our review, the key risk is overstatement of revenue. The impact is decision makers engage immediately. Translating technical issues into business impact. For example, explaining a control weakness in terms of cash leakage and regulatory requirements. The management understands the urgency and acts immediately. A structured, not stream of consciousness speaking. For example, use a simple structure: issue, risk, impact, and recommendation. This will improve acceptance of professional advice. And my friends, listening to understand, not to respond. allowing the management to explain resistance before defending an audit adjustment. This will reduce confrontation and build trust. I have been in this situation many, many times. I have taken consistently views which are totally against what the management believes in. And believe me, friends, when I listen to them, when I listen to their understanding, what they think, they feel, and what their practical difficulties are, and then respond to them with my explanations, it actually reduces confrontation and builds trust. So what are the micro habits that will strengthen this daily communication? 1. Pausing 2 seconds before responding. Using one-page summaries for complex matters. Asking, does it make sense? Replacing jargon with plain language. You may understand the technicality of a law or a standard, but for a management, plain language is the best. Confirming understanding at the end of every discussion. Whenever we are talking, ensure that everyone is on the same page. And these habits require seconds, but build lasting influence. Leadership impact of strong communication habits are faster client buy-in, higher perceived competence, reduced conflict and rework, greater influence without authority. You are taken at face value. Your advice is acted upon. Next slide, please. Reliability is a habit of being consistently dependable, while discipline is the ability to maintain professional standards regardless of pressure. Together, they form the foundation on which trust, reputation, and leadership authority is built. The bottom line is that competence is expected of every chartered accountant. But remember, reliability is remembered. I can give you an example in audit deliverables. A chartered accountant consistently delivers draft reports ahead of deadlines. What will be the result? The professional respect and reduced future disputes. Internal audit follow-ups. Tracking agreed actions systematically will result in improved control implementation and management confidence. Micro habits of reliability and discipline can be improved very easily by committing only to achievable timelines, building buffer time into schedules, following standard checklists consistently, closing open items daily, maintaining uniform documentation standards. And these small habits quietly strengthen the professional credibility. Reliability matters more than brilliance, my friends. Brilliant advice delivered late or consistently loses value. Clients and regulators value predictability, consistency, and control more than occasional excellence. The common threats to reliability and discipline that must be really taken care are overcommitment to please clients, allowing urgency to override quality. I have seen chartered accountants who take work and then are so embedded into it that they allow urgency to override quality. Informal verbal commitments. When you can't deliver, don't commit. If you think that you are talking to a client, not officially, but unofficially, your word will still be seriously considered. Reputation as a safe pair of hands is something which is very valuable to a chartered accountant. And this is what will be brought in by reliability and discipline. Can I have the next slide, please? Ethical muscle building is a habit of consistently choosing the right professional action in small everyday situations, especially when no one is watching. This is what was actually meant by previous speaker, Mr. Himanshu, too. Like physical fitness, ethics weaken without regular practice and strengthen through repeated disciplined choices. What does what are these micro habits that build ethical strengths? Pausing before signing any document, asking, can I defend this decision later? Documenting dissenting views, avoiding informal commitments, separating commercial pressures from professional judgments. These habits take seconds but shape long-term character. The role of ethics in a chartered accountant's leadership of ethical muscle building is it protects against disciplinary and legal action, enhances trust with regulators and boards, attracts quality clients and assignments, and builds inner confidence during difficult decisions. My friends, you're all aware of the regulatory challenges that we as practicing chartered accountants have. Ethical muscle building is the first step which will help make you feel respected, not for convenience, but for consistency. The common ethical weaknesses to watch for will be something like normalizing borderline practices, relying on everyone does it, ignoring documentation for speed, and allowing relationships to cloud judgment. Ethical muscle building, especially for teams, is critical because it will entail role modeling ethical decisions, encourage juniors to raise concerns, never penalizing ethical questioning, and rewarding integrity, not just speed. Ethical cultures, my friends, are built top-down, daily, minute to minute, second by second. Can we have the third polling question? Can we have the next slide, please? People leadership habits. Why is it so important for a chartered accountants? Well, my dear friends, after all, we are people who will interact with the society. We get our clients from the society. Our decisions impact the society, and therefore people leadership habit is very critical to us. People leadership habits are daily behaviors that develop confidence, competence, and accountability in others. Exceptional chartered accountant leaders do not just deliver results personally, they build teams that deliver results consistently. In professional practice, leadership is reflected not in individual brilliance, but in a team strength. Core people leadership habits of exceptional chartered accountants are teaching the why, not just the what. And this will reduce repeated errors and build judgment in juniors. It will teach the juniors to ask questions. It will teach the juniors to dwell further into the issues rather than doing just the simple on-the-face work. Giving timely and specific feedback will improve learning, speed, and morale. Setting clear expectations upfront will minimize confusion and last-minute stress. Developing successors and not dependents will create future leaders and free seniors' capacity. I am sure there are no chartered accountants in practice who are scared of their juniors that they will at some point of time overshadow them. I believe this because when I personally was doing my articles, my boss was consistently encouraging me to read more, to investigate more, to do scientific research more, and to question more. In fact, there were days when I used to question my boss on many of the decisions that he had taken. He never said no, but very, very calmly encouraged me to question, and then we used to deliberate it. There were times when he would say, Jawahar, I agree with you, and would change his stance. And that is what is meant by creating future leaders. And what are the micro habits that strengthen people leadership? Daily check-ins and with team members, asking juniors to explain conclusions, publicly acknowledging good work, correcting errors privately and constructively, maintaining consistency in standards. Remember, friends, if you have to praise someone, do it publicly. If you have to criticize someone, do it privately. These habits require minimum time but yield significant results. What are the people leadership habits, the mistakes that commonly are made by chartered accountants? Instead of trying to explain the work, they do the work. Instead of coaching, they will themselves take up the work and do it. Delaying habit, they consistently delay, and that will leave no time for discussion. Inconsistent expectations are created, and they tend to tolerate poor quality work. Successful chartered accountants, you see in every successful chartered accountant's office, these issues are addressed very early. Strong people habits will lead to scalable practice or department growth, reduced attrition and burnout, stronger client outcomes, and reputation as a leader and a mentor. Your clients will consistently start relying on you for the advice. They will start not only following up for the advice, they will put your advice into practice at all times. And that will be the moment they start doing it, they will reduce the risk in their own areas because you as a chartered accountant would have taken care of these risk areas. The next slide, please. Decision-making habits are consistent methods a chartered accountant uses to analyze facts, apply judgments, and take responsibility for outcomes. In practice, leadership is judged not by opinions expressed, but by decisions taken and defended over time. Separating facts, assumptions, and judgments is one of the core decision-making habits. Say, for example, in provisioning decisions, clearly distinguishing verified data, management assumptions, and auditor's judgment will improve clarity and defensibility. The second habit is using structured decision-making work. Before concluding, identify alternatives, assess risks and consequences, consider regulatory perspectives. This will reduce hindsight criticism. Documenting the rationale, not just the conclusion. For example, recording why certain views were accepted or rejected will lead to strong protection during inspection and litigation. And deciding early on high-risk issues, like, for example, flagging going concern issues early instead of postponing, will allow corrective action and reduce last-minute pressure. Decision-making can be strengthened by pausing before concluding, asking, what would a regulator question here? Seeking peer input or complex matters, writing a brief decision summary. Small habits prevent large mistakes. Leadership impact on strong decision habits will be enhanced professional credibility, reduces overexposure to disputes and disciplinary action, increases confidence of stakeholders, and consistency across assignments. Successful chartered accountants will have this strong decision-making habit. Next slide, please. Influence without authority is an ability to shape decisions, behavior, and outcomes without relying on formal power or hierarchy. Chartered accountants actually do not wield any legal authority over the clients. And therefore, this habit of influence without authority, building up this habit of influence without authority makes a lot of sense for us. and exceptional chartered accountants are listened to even when they cannot instruct. What are the core habits that build this influence without authority? Chartered accountants who actually have such a control over the clients without authority prepare before interaction. They review the business context, numbers, stakeholder concerns before discussions. And this leads to building confidence and reduces resistance. They speak the business language, not the standards. They explain a control issue of cash flow risk rather than clause numbers. And the impact is management understands and engages. They maintain consistency over time. Like, for example, taking the same ethical standard across multiple clients and years. Their reputation precedes the chartered accountant into the room. Calm conviction under pressure. Example, maintaining composure when the management challenges an audit documentation. It earns respect even in disagreement. Micro habit that strengthen influences are listening fully before responding, asking insightful questions, acknowledging management constraints, using data and examples, following up in writing. We should never criticize an individual for individual's sake. We can criticize an action. We can talk about an action, never talk about an individual. Influence without authority leads to faster acceptance of recommendations, reduced conflicts and escalation, stronger stakeholder relationships, and recognition as a trusted advisor. If you see any strong chartered accountant, a successful chartered accountant, they would be the successful, trusted advisors. The next slide, please. Personal effectiveness is an ability to consistently deliver high-quality professional judgment, while energy management is the discipline of protecting physical, mental, and emotional capacity. For CA leaders, stamina matters as much as skill. Energy management is critical for chartered accountant leaders because poor energy management leads to fatigue-driven errors, irritability, burnout cycles, declining quality. Judgment quality deteriorates. Whereas strong energy management, there will be clear judgment, composure, sustainable performance, consistent excellence, and long before hours are reduced. Core professional effectiveness habit of chartered accountants, what are they? One is protecting high energy hours. Using morning hours, this was also mentioned by Himanshuji. Using morning hours for judgments on provisioning, impairment, complex advisory, or any other matter for that matter. The impact is improves decision quality and confidence. Managing workload peaks proactively. Advanced planning of audit and compliance calendars will reduce last-minute stress errors. Setting up professional boundaries. For example, declining unrealistic deadlines without adequate data will preserve quality and credibility. Recovery and renewal rituals. For example, ensuring adequate sleep during peak season will maintain mental clarity and ethical judgment. The micro habits that preserve energy are short breaks between intense tasks, hydration and light movement, avoiding consistent multitasking, ending the day with clear plan for tomorrow. These habits prevent cumulative fatigue. Leadership impact of strong energy management would be sustained high quality output, reduced professional risk, improved client and team confidence, career longevity. My dear friends, I have used this in my own practice over a period of time. I ensure that I have this basic, all the things that I have mentioned about taking breaks, taking time for myself, not jumping into conclusions, It has reduced professional risk, has improved client and team confidence. And I have been now in practice for nearly 41 years, 42 years. Next slide, please. Now, managing energy, as I told you, is very important. Now, you have, as a chartered accountant, everyone believes that the office is most important, clients are most important, and they consistently require our personal time too. Remember, friends, clients are not going to be present when you don't actually have the energy. And therefore, managing your energy, not just your time, is the most critical aspect. Make a habit of physical and mental discipline. Do mental exercises consistently, regularly. Do physical exercises consistently, regularly. Avoid burnout through boundaries and renewal rituals. Never, never let yourself be burnt out. This burning out happens when you are consistently pressurized and you work under consistent pressure. Remember, sleep is important, reflection is important, and silence for judgment quality is extremely critical. And therefore, my friends, you need to be very clear about your personal effectiveness and energy management. Next slide, please.
Participants are requested to kindly participate in this poll, which is the most important micro habit. You can scan the QR code and give your responses, please. You can scan the QR code from your mobile phone. This is the last poll which we are doing for this webinar.
Yeah, let's go to the next slide, please. What is the advantage of compounding these micro habits on a day-to-day basis? The compounding effect refers to the cumulative impact of all the small, consistent professional habits that are practiced by a chartered accountant over the years. And it's very critical that these are actually practiced. What are these habits? One is compounding of judgment, compounding of trust, compounding of learning, compounding of reputation, and real-time career trajectory. Examples would be, say, for example, two qualified chartered accountants practice together. One focuses on closing files fast. The other adds small insights, reflects daily, and documents decision. After 15 years, one competes for fees. The other is consulted on strategy and risk. Micro habits are invisible in short term because the benefits are delayed, results are non-linear, and recognition comes later. That is why most chartered accountants abandon good habits early. Leadership habits that compound the most are daily judgment reflections, ethical consistency, clear communication, reliable execution, continuous learning, calm decision making. These are the habits that I've talked about earlier. The next slide, please. Finally, my friends, I encourage you to identify one habit to start, one habit to stop today. Remember, consistency over intensity is critical. And as exceptional chartered accountant leaders are not extraordinary people. Remember, exceptional chartered accountant leaders are not extraordinary people, but they practice ordinary habits extraordinary well. My dear friends, I encourage you to start on micro habits today, now, and make it a consistent habit. You will realize in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, these habits will make you exceptional chartered accountants. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, and I can take questions if you have any.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
We have got some questions. The first one is for Himanshu, sir. Many chartered accountants struggle with the fear of failure and comparison. What mindset practices can help them to take beyond yet calculated professional decisions with confidence?
Hi, sir. Good evening. First of all, I'd like to welcome Satish Gupta, sir. He has joined the seminar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, bhai.
Priyanshu ji, the thing that somebody is asking, what mindset? So, can you tell me the name of the query, if possible?
Do it faster, huh? We don't have time, Himanshu.
No, sir.
We don't
No,
have
sir.
time. Quickly answer, because at
Mhm.
least 3-4 questions we should answer.
Sir,
We are running about 5 minutes late.
Sir, the basic mindset is that you need to be confident in yourself in achieving everything. So what I say, why did I ask the name Madhukar sir was because if suppose that person understands Hindi or not. So my ideology is jam ke karo jo bhi karo and dam ke karo jo bhi karo. दुनिया सोचे कि ये शोर कहाँ से आया है और तुमको देख के गए कोई शेर आया है. See, profession is very simple. You just have to follow the basic traits, what you have learned, do it properly. Though people lack confidence because of two things. First, they are not prepared. So if you are prepared, I can assure you, you will be confident to do anything and everything. And second thing is just have a belief that it will happen. The day you start thinking that it will happen, it will happen. Thank you.
So the next one is for Jawahar.
I would like to add there, Priyanshu, that
Yes, sir.
failure is a stepping stone to success. Thousands of people who have failed consistently have become, big achievers. You can go to the next question.
Next one is for Jawahar, sir. Are chartered accountants unknowingly training themselves to be repressible through routine work? And how can a mindset shift change the trajectory?
This is what I had also already mentioned in my presentation. That is, they have to change their mindset from mindset to ownership. They must think they should take ownership of their decisions instead of just doing routine works. And the moment they think in terms of ownership of the audit or their clients, and they see what would I do if I was in their shoes, automatically and consistently the mind shift will change, and chartered accountants will go off from a rigmarole tasks to successful to becoming very successful chartered accountants.
All right, sir. The next one is for Himanshu, sir. How can purpose-driven thinking transform a chartered accountant career from routine practice to a legacy-building journey of impact and leadership?
When we talk about purpose, let us first see that what you have to do. So you are doing something which you say today is traditional or repetitive or slow or small, and you want to achieve something big. So in this transition, I will suggest you a 80-20 principle. First, bring that new thing as 20% of what you have to do. Keep that 80%, gradually make 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and that 80, and then what you are doing as 20. So now what the thought process is only one thing, sir, what I have stated, that you need to believe, then you need to keep a clear mindset of working regularly. See, I'll tell you what. I read in a very good book that there were, two kinds of students. So there were certain students who were good in quantity and certain students who were good in quality. So they were all asked to click pictures whole day or to make photographs all day. what happened after a certain point of time, when they were analyzed, it was found that the people with quality had nothing different to offer because they had meant their minds for a particular kind of quality. But people with quantity started after a particular point of time thinking, what should we add? So at times, the mindset should be that you just get going, keep on doing things. Eventually, things will happen. Eventually, you'll learn few things. Eventually, you'll get to know new things. Eventually, you'll meet more people. So, may it be work, network, whatever. The consistency you do, the mindset of continuously rolling the mill will take you to somewhere.
The last one is for Jawaharji. What is the biggest illusion of safety in the chartered accountancy profession, and how does breaking it create exponential professional growth?
That's a wonderful question, Priyanshuji. This is what do you call the chakra view that chartered accountants have. More number of clients, more money, I am busy, more number of files. Now we have to get out of this, chakra. You have to deliver, take smaller number of clients, give consistent, very good advice, and do quality work. Make yourself consistent, make yourself to be known as a Mr. Reliable. And the moment you do that, your life is easy because you're not bogged down by rigmaroles, regular, routine, small things, which ultimately will take the same amount of time and effort as for us, whether for a smaller client or for a larger client. And therefore, you have to slowly start out weeding out smaller clients. Leave it for others who will do it. And as somebody taught me, and which I am also following, is every year remove 10% of your lowest paying clients and try to add larger ones. And this will consistently leave you more and more time for quality, delivery. And if you are able to do that over a period of, say, about 5 years or 10 years, you will realize that you might not be having, thousands of files. You might be having just about 40 or 50 files, but you will be doing a great work for them, and they will become your mouthpiece. And you will have the satisfaction of being a practicing chartered accountant, protecting your integrity, ensuring that you are complying with legalities, seeing that there are hardly any risks involved in your profession, and maintaining that your clients are always on the right side of the law, and seeing that you do not take any shortcuts. This
Thank
would
you,
be my
sir.
answer. Thank you.
So,
You might have to stop, no? You can
Yes,
ask,
sir.
you can
Yes, sir.
share the answers later to the
Yes.
faculty
Yes,
and
sir.
share it back with the
Sure, sir.
viewers.
Sure, sir. So I would like to invite C.S. Satish Kumar Gupta ji, our Vice Chairman of the Committee for Members in Practice of ICAI, for giving his vote of thanks. Over to you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Priyanshu. Good evening to all. It is really wonderful to see the leadership quality of our chairman Madhukar Hiregange sir. That he just we had a meeting few days back on SAFA, and he has given the result. And this is the first webinar, uh, we- not only for the Indian chartered accountants, but for the SAFA chartered accountants. And that is on the bridging the mindset gap, empower your journey, vision to victory, and the 1% advantage. I was listening, Jawar sir, and I have listened several times, Himanshu. Both are the leaders, and they have consistently stated for our members that quality matters, and the dedication matters, and the devotion matters, and discipline matters. If we work with consistency, if we work of quality, if we dedicatedly and devotedly work for our clients, then definitely number is not important. And your growth, nobody can stop your growth. So it was the message from both the speakers. So really wonderful. I would like to uh, say that Muhammad Humayun Kabir sir, who is the SAFA president, that he came here and he gave a visionary address and global perspective that how we can go ahead with the SAFA countries. So thank you very much, sir, for coming and joining this webinar and giving your thoughtful address. I'm thankful to Praveen Kumar Jha, sir, also, who is the Vice President SAFA, and for his valuable thoughts. And my chairman, I always know that he's the leader from the, I can say, wanting quality, maintaining quality, and focusing how can we go ahead in the profession. So these all, thank you very much, all the or leadership of my profession for their wonderful. Whoever heard your deliberations today would definitely go with some value addition. And if they adopt your principles, what you have stated today, they will definitely
Priyanshu, you can close it. There is too much of this thing, you know. We are not able to hear. Priyanshu? We can't hear you, Satish Bhai.
To wish that all the you get success, growth, and courage to pursue your next 1% improvement, which is very important. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All over the page.
Thank you, sir. So today I would like to share that we have got more than 1,700 participants over here, and around 150 people, members are there from SAFA, other SAFA countries. So thank you so much. Thank you.